If your Hisense dehumidifier displays error code E9 and stops removing moisture, the problem is usually related to the humidity sensing circuit or the electronics monitoring the appliance. However, the exact cause can vary between models, so do not replace parts based only on the error code. Begin with a basic reset. Switch the dehumidifier off, unplug it from the electrical outlet, and leave it disconnected for at least 5 minutes. Remove and empty the water bucket, then reinstall it correctly before reconnecting the power. Next, clean the air filter. A heavily blocked filter restricts airflow and can cause poor performance or overheating. Wash or vacuum the filter according to the instructions for your model and make sure it is completely dry before reinstalling it. If the E9 code returns, inspect the humidity sensor area. On many Hisense models, the sensor is positioned near the air intake. Dust, corrosion, moisture, a loose connector, damaged wiring, or a failed sensor can prevent the control board from receiving a reliable humidity reading. Disconnect the appliance from power before removing any cover. If the sensor is accessible without disturbing high voltage components, gently remove surface dust with a soft brush or low pressure air. Do not spray cleaner or water directly onto the sensor. Cleaning does not always solve the problem. A sensor may look clean but still be electrically defective. The wiring between the sensor and control board may also be loose or damaged. Some owners replace the humidity sensor and find that E9 still returns. In that situation, the problem may be elsewhere in the electrical system, including the main control board or the compressor circuit. One reported repair involved a dehumidifier that repeatedly displayed E9 even after the sensor had been cleaned and replaced. In that case, replacing the compressor run capacitor allowed the compressor to start and the unit began operating normally again. This is a possible cause, but it is not a universal E9 repair. Do not order a capacitor until the original component has been properly tested. A run capacitor must match the original capacitor's rating exactly. For example, if the original capacitor is marked 50 microfarads, the replacement must also be 50 microfarads. The voltage rating must never be lower than the original. A physically larger capacitor may sometimes fit, but electrical specifications, terminal type, temperature rating, and mounting must all be suitable. Capacitors can retain a dangerous electrical charge even after the dehumidifier has been unplugged. The compressor circuit also operates at mains voltage. For this reason, capacitor testing and replacement should be performed by a qualified technician unless you have appropriate electrical training and test equipment. If the fan runs but the compressor does not start, listen for humming, clicking, or repeated attempts to start. These symptoms can point toward a weak capacitor, compressor overload, wiring fault, control board problem, or a failing compressor. If the compressor starts normally but E9 still appears, the humidity sensor, its connector, or the electronic board remains more likely. To summarize, reset the unit, empty and reinstall the bucket, clean the filter, and inspect the humidity sensor area. If the code returns, the sensor, wiring, control board, capacitor, or compressor circuit may require professional testing. Avoid replacing several parts at random because E9 does not identify the failed component with complete certainty on every Hisense model.